Alright, so Doctor Who Uncut was really cool. And so the panel included, from left to right, director Neil Gordon, director of The Almost People and The Rebel Flesh, Gillian Simpson, production designer Michael Pickford, casting director Andy Pryor, and executive producer Caroline Skinner. And the interviewer of the panel is the guy that sits in and is the voice of the Daleks. They played the trailer for the 7th season. They answered a lot more questions, or rather, they didn't answer a lot more questions. So many people asked them questions, but the whole time, like, Caroline Skinner was like, no comment, no comment, no comment, no comment, no comment. It was annoying. They didn't really comment on anything, so the fans just kept getting kind of riled up and angry, but it was still fun. Daniel even got to ask a question at that panel as well, so that was pretty cool. Like, we both had good luck that whole day. Like, it was ridiculous. Our luck was great. After Doctor Who Uncut, it was time for me to go and get ready for my photograph with Arthur Darvill. Daniel and his mom decided to go to tour the TARDIS set while I stayed and got my picture taken. So I went to the bathroom, made sure I was all pretty for my picture with Arthur Darvill, and I got there and I waited in line, and we waited for probably like 15 minutes, and the line was not moving at all. Arthur Darvill was late because he had been at one of the Ood that I was talking about earlier, the Ood panels, and that had gone overtime. Arthur Darvill had just made it back to the Silurian side, so he was late. And so the line started moving, and I was asking everyone around me, like, where they're from, and there was another girl in front of me who's dressed as Amy Pond, very believably, too. She's from California, I think, and finally found someone who had gum, because I had a gross taste in my mouth, and I didn't want to meet him and have that. We're getting around the corner, and we start seeing flashes, and we're like, we're getting closer, like, the pictures are coming. And there's a rumor that you could take two, and then you would get to pick which picture they would print off for you. We were waiting in line, we got closer and closer, and we were kind of giggling, and then we get into the room, and we see him with all his fans. It is hot in this room. It is hot as balls in this room, like, hotter than the devil's dick. We get in, and Arthur is just, like, he has his shirt, and he's, like, fanning it like this, and he's even, like, fanning it from the bottom up, and you, like, see his stomach, and all the girls are like, oh, damn! That was really fun for me. I mean, I felt so bad, though, because he had a sweater, and he had a suit coat on, and I was just like, wow, this man, there were fans all over the place, but it was wicked hot. So he was taking pictures, and he would just shake your hand and be like, hi, how are you? The lady would be like, nice big smile, click, and he'd be like, thank you for coming out, and then you would leave. And you get two pictures. I get up there, and one of the girls from earlier who helped me meet Matt Smith was like, oh, hi, like, so it worked out for you? And I was like, yeah. I handed her my stuff while I got my picture taken, and I was standing there, and Arthur is like, so hi, how are you? And we shook hands. So I was like, can we do a silly one? And he was like, well, like what? And I was like, I don't know, like, kind of like, I just remember him, like, our faces are very close, and he, like, looks at me like, the fuck? So I'm like, and he does it too, but he's kind of awkward and, like, has his arm, like, he doesn't really know what he's doing. And I'm like, okay, and a nice one. And the lady's like, nice big smile, 1, 2, 3, go. And he's like, thanks for coming out. And I said, thank you. And I had been debating before that, like, whether or not, and because I talked to my sorority sister, Monica, about this, and, like, I should ask him for a kiss on the cheek or when we take a picture and everything. And I would have if it was a private setting where it would have been like you come into a room and it's just you and him and the photographer, and then you do it and then you leave, because it would have been better for me to get rejected that way. But Monica was like, well, you don't know when else, like, this opportunity is going to happen. Like, you should just ask. And if he says no, he says no. But I was like, it was just really public, and no one else had done anything radical. Like, no one else had even, like, done a girl face. So I was like, nix that. I mean, I've had a great day regardless, so I don't need that. So I left, and I was really happy, and I was like, okay, well, I'm going to follow the signs to the Matt Smith shoot and see if I can use my little sob story American thing, like I did earlier, to get a picture with Matt Smith. So I get there, and then I see him in the room, and he's, like, kind of, like, on a desk, like, weirdly hunched over, like, he's breathing heavily or something, and that was kind of weird. And I see all of these, like, 6 guys in, like, suits with, like, they didn't have, like, sunglasses, which would have been over the top, but they had, like, the little ear things with the, like, there's bodyguards, I'm pretty sure. And they're all coming out in front of him, and then he comes behind them, and then he was already done with his photo shoot. And I was like, damn it. But, so he's walking, and I know it didn't mean anything, but he was walking, he's like, thanks, everyone, for coming out. And then he looked back, because everyone was taking photos, and I didn't come with my camera prepared, because that wasn't my intention. I didn't know him exiting would be so public. So I was just wanting a photo with him. But that chance was gone. So he's walking past us, and I'm like, okay, I'm accepting the fact that I'm not going to get it. But he looks back, like, over his shoulder. I know it didn't mean anything, but at the same time, he did look at me for a second. Like, our eyes met for a second. And it wasn't like our eyes met, and it was magical. No, our eyes met. He just happened to look at me when I was looking at him. But it was still, in that moment, I was like, that's pretty cool. He looked at me when I was looking at him like, there was eye contact, my friend, right there. That just happened. I wanted to be like, so what did you mean earlier about this sexy thing? Sexy Lexi? What did you mean about that? After that, I mean, there wasn't really anything left in the convention. It was pretty much over. So I went downstairs and I was waiting to hear from Daniel because he said that they might be able to take me home. After that, I just went downstairs and I got some rum and coke from the cafe, and I was watching the giant Doctor Who thing that they had going on in the cafeteria. And Danny, the guy who was the special effects guy, he was in the same area, and I saw all these people coming over like with the same passes that I had, like these, except they said special things like crew or press, like things like that. And so Danny came over, and he was with one of the girls who was like, only 2 more questions from earlier. And they must have been together because they were like holding hands. And at one point, he like grabbed her ass, and I was like, wow, public. So I was just drinking my rum and coke, and then Daniel said he wasn't going to be around till like 8 because that's when the tour ended. So I was like, okay, I'll just call it a night. So I picked up my photo that I got taken with Arthur Darvill, and I was really kind of mad because it was already printed. I didn't get to choose which one it was. It was the one where we're smiling, which I liked, but my face kind of looks large because I've got dimples, and I was hoping it was going to be like a longer body shot. He looks so perfect that he looks like a cutout. Like, I'm showing my friends this, and they're like, that's not him, that is a cutout. And I'm like, no, it is not. It's not a cutout. It's Arthur Darvill. Like, I think his smile is so funny because each time she would say nice big smile, and he did that face every single time. So that was my day. I called a cab and I went back to my hotel, and I just kind of relaxed for the rest of the day, and I was like, that was a pretty rad day. That was my experience, my first convention, Doctor Who convention. It was super legit. Super legitsies. Legitsies. That was probably my favorite thing I've done in a really long time. So it was really special. So thanks for watching. So next stop that I take is Amsterdam. So if you guys want to tune in for that, it'll be fun. Thanks. Bye.